We're gonna, so now we're gonna go to the start of that project. I've got a couple blanks. I'm not gonna use this blank. Cause if you can see, I don't know, y'all see that check in it that come in there. I cut this last weekend and had done a few, and so I'm not gonna use this one. I would use it at the house, turn it, put a biscuit in it, seal it up, come back to it. But I got another piece of cherry that we're gonna do. But I want to go ahead and show y'all something as far as with this, because it really shows. I started everything between centers, which I don't know. I cut these discs, go to the bandsaw, stick that in there on my blank, then I use that to cut my circle. So I mean, it works on bowls. Some of y'all, I'm just using that as my guide and on the bandsaw. And then you can always, when you get the other side done, use it pretty close. Make your mark here. But reason I want to start between centers with about everything I do, whether it's a bowl or what, if I'm turning this and we want to have the sapwood showing where it's kind of even, that ends off a little bit. Some of them, but you can get a lot of them, get them a lot closer. But when I'm starting to mount, I'm going to mount it between centers. So right now, we'll throw it way off so you can tell. So say it was setting like that. It's never going to be even because you can tell that it's just sitting. So I want to center that up. So to start with, I'm going to put it back. I can say where I'm going to put it, and then I can use my tool rest as a guide. And I'm going to balance that out. So I'm a little off there. I can just adjust it just a hair bit maybe. That way. Get it stick. Let it go to. Want to move back a little bit into my other hole. But we're just kind of balance it out, and then do that side. We're going to do the other way. So I'm going to look right here and just kind of gauge it, which we need to come back a little bit more. And all I'm doing is just trying to even that up. Making sure my sapwood's the same, so that when I turn it, it's kind of balanced. If you're doing the same thing, if you're going to do like a natural edge bowl, you want your front, you want all your corners basically. Two half spots, if you use turning natural edge bowl in this would be your natural edge. You'd want to be fairly even. So start between centers, and you can adjust that and play with that. Then I'd turn my tenon, and then that would lock everything in, because you just throw it up here and turn a tenon, it's locked in. So you can't adjust it. Same thing if you was to start with a screw plate, you're not going to be able to adjust it any. That's just a little bit of information on why I start between centers. So, but we're going to do it with this piece of cherry. It does have a little place, might be a defect in it there. I've been pulling some molded wood out of the shop trying to clean some stuff out. But so I just kind of send a mark there. This has got just a touch of sapwood right there, but it's nothing we're going to try to be balancing out for a hollow form here. I'm just I just got a regular Morse taper live center sucked up in my chuck air. And then I'm going to screw it up, cut my tenon, and put it in my chuck. What you head?
Yeah, not in front of me now.
No, it's above your head now.
I'm sure he did. I bet he can walk right under.
Oh,
he can't.
I'm gonna start rough shaping with a bowl gouge. think I'm gonna end up putting this as my bottom and this towards the top here. So we're gonna put my tenon down here. Maybe that little spot will turn out. I'm just trying to kind of remove a little wood here. I'm gonna get my tenon going. Go ahead and spin it around now. I just have my last, that's my dry spur, just put it in my chuck there. Bring that up just for safety wise for now. My shape, I guess y'all can kind of tell, I like shape there on all that stuff is kind of the same. He's kind of following the third rule of thirds on it, kind of balancing it out. I like my top opening size and my foot to be close to the same. That's just, it seems to me that looks pretty good, pretty what I kind of like. I'm just going to read through everything since I put to the chuck just to make sure we're good. I'm going to take some of the bulk off of this down in here a little bit, just kind of start getting my shape a little. I'm just starting kind of rolling the tool with me, moving. Chunk come out the time. It must have been right there for that. So we're hoping, I'm turning it that way. I don't know if how well y'all can see that little old check right there. I'm hoping by turning it this way, I'm hoping to get rid of that, work that out. As my curve was going, I was getting to taking bigger cut than I wanted, so I just kind of stop there, and I'll stair step this down some. I don't want to take it all the way down. Give me a little bit of base back here at the bottom. You can kind of see how, like on this piece, I still left, but what I'm looking at is how I'm going to follow that curve all the way down into the bottom, pretty much nearly into my tenon. So I'm just kind of going to work it down just a little bit more, and then I'm going to switch to the top up here. See, I've got a lot of tear out right there. I'm not gonna worry too much with it right this second. I'm gonna shake the top and then I'm gonna get a fresh sharp gouge and clean it up some. I'm doing a little full cut right there, straighten that out a little bit. Find the bevel, write it right there, and then we're gonna pick it up. Pretty much got my basic shape. I'm gonna change to a sharp gouge, or I'd go sharpen the gouge. So I've got a cut about 3 of the same ones right here. So they all, I don't know if y'all can see them. I got them kind of numbered so I can swap, know which ones I've used at. It's got a little dark marker line on them. So. Well, I've had 2, and then I got one of Dad's. So one of them was Dad's, but anyway. So, but I mean, I think we see we're giving away a Thompson for it. To me, some of the better steel, the gouges that we got out there. That's about all I use now. But so I went to a fresh gouge, or if you don't have another one, sharpen. Because most of the time like that, if you're getting some tear out, go to a fresh gouge. It's going to help that. Get a good sharpen. A lot of times you can clean that up and it'll go. You can see how I don't know if that really shows, but you can see just how fine the shavings are coming off with a fresh gouge there. I'm just going to slow down because I'm trying to go for a good clean cut. So you slow your cuts down. Usually help get you a cleaner cut. Did I lose the whole TV? Cause he hit his head on it a while ago, that's what it was. I got a little place in it I'm trying to get out here, so we're gonna take a little bit more out. I was happy with it except for that.
One more. Now, that's the year of me. Before we have it, we really want. No,
Give me 1 second, you can step behind me or whatever. You give me 1 second. Alright, there you go. That's just gonna have to sand out.
That's all. All I did is swap. There it is. Oh, we got it, never mind. We got it. I touched it.
Alright. I don't know how we on. You don't see that tie, you can see that tear out there? That's why I'm fixing to try and get that out. We'll see what we do here with it. Tommy always gets aggravated at me because I'm left-handed and I can swap from sides and kind of swap back and forth pretty regular, so. We got a good bit of it out there. Didn't get it all, but.
Here's these back.
Uh, This is what we do with a little bit of a shear scrape here up close on it. Okay. You wouldn't like that, so. We've got a little bit, I think most of the sand out. That's what 100 grit's for, ain't it? All right, so we're gonna get to the hollow, and that's what we kind of want to interest, or some of what we got going on today. And this is my take on the hollowing part of Trent Bosch's visualizer. Some of y'all may have looked at it or whatever, but it's a, what, $800 and something hollowing system. And this is my $30 Amazon deal. So we're going to let me see this.
Wait and see how long this will be stowed in. At the same time, yeah.
First thing we got to do, we're going to have to put a hole, start a hole in this. You do it with us. couple different ways. I mean, I'm not too worried about uh, if it's dead center, perfect, you know, I'm just getting a starter hole in it. Or you can put a chuck in the tailstock and with a bit and work it in. See my depth here a little bit. I'm kind of visualizing my line coming all the way down to the base, which is probably going to hit my bottom is going to be somewhere around my thumb. So I want to make sure I've got a little bit left on the bottom. We're not into getting into it. Put me a little dry erase mark on there. We're going to slow the leg down.
Is that drill, is that an McCurry manufacturer?
Yes. Well, let's see. It's one of your Lowe's electrical style bits with a handle throat on it. So to me, it works real good. I'm just going to start right there. A lot quicker than putting a chuck in the drill stock or in the tail stock and working it out. So there's my starter hole, which I am going to clean it up just a little bit right here at the opening with a gouge. Now, this is a little spindle detail gouge, dropping down just to speed this back up. I'm just going to clean up this up just a little bit. Oh, we just cleaned it up enough to start here. So here comes the hardware. I'm going to switch back to just the regular tailstock part. Tool rest, but I made me a spacer here, just a little. If you're running anything like this, that like say either the monoptic core or anything, you can make you a spacer so you hit your height pretty much all the time. So that'll put me on center with my. All right, this is it's a Monster is what the name brand of it, or not name brand, but they're not available anymore. It was Superior Design Machine Shop. And gentleman, he had a machine shop, done the work for a living, and then he was a wood turner, and so he designed the captive hauler here, and then he passed suddenly, and then his daughter took over, but she pretty much just run the machine shop for a little while, and so the hauler system kind of went to the way. But what I've done is I picked up a $30 endoscope borescope from Amazon. And let me see, let me adjust this camera here just a little bit so y'all can see what we got here. then I kick it. So the got the hollower, which you can buy different couple different brands. I think Carter's got a hollowing system. They some other different captive rig hollowing systems. Kind of what the Lyle Jamieson's is kind of a bigger deal that laser. And that's what this was, the laser bar for it. And we have a laser that set in here and a battery pack here. And what it done, you'd set it up to where your laser's shining down pretty much right here on this, where this cutter is. I don't know if y'all can see my finger on this screen, but you just have just a red dot there. And so you could take the caliper, ruler, whatever, stick it down there, and you'd say, all right, I want a 1/4 inch thickness, and you'd put your red dot out here at a 1/4 inch. Well, that's the only place that you could see was cutting was right there on that red dot. So when you get in here and you're coming over, you'd be working, and then when the laser fell off the piece, that was your thickness. But you still had to keep a good check with it with calipers or whatever. Well, with this, what I've got now, you got the camera system here. And so I've got a dry erase here on my on the screen that on the outside of my cutter. So if I put that there, you can kind of see I'm with my dry erase, I'm pretty much just a touch over 1/8 by the 3/16 barrier going around it. So when I stick this in, that red, the inside of the red here is my cutter. The outside would be the thickness of my wall. So that's what I'm working to. So as I start hollowing, and it's just I usually hollow around 1,000 RPM, so we're in there. So I'm sitting here hollowing. Right now it's not really as much important as where I'm at because I'm just taking away, opening up material in here. And that's what I want to start doing. I want to take out a good portion of a material to open up my hole. It's I believe these are 3/16. Which this bar is not the bar that came with this actual hollowing system. His bars were a 3/4 inch bar, and I made an adapter here to run these smaller 7/16 bars, and which it also runs like Trent Bosch's 1/2 inch bars. So right now I'm just opening up a little bit of space, and you can tell I'm in that hole for my drill right there. And sometimes if it's way off, you have to kind of start and work over to it. Yeah, I'm still right there at the bottom of my bowl. As you notice, I've vibrated off a little bit there. So you kind of, even with the leg, just kind of check that. Some of that from moving. But, so right there at the bottom of my bowl. So I can kind of visualize, kind of make sure that's about where I want to be by my shape, what I'm thinking my shape's going to be. Now I'm just going to I'm just kind of dragging backwards right now, cleaning a little bit of that stuff out. So I pretty much opened me up. Pretty much opened up the full thickness of what my opening is there. So what I'm gonna do is switch to one of my other bars here. This system comes with, or mine came with like 3 different bars. I got the real bent, and then I've got just the angle. I'm gonna go to the angle here. But what I'm gonna do when I'll come out here with this one right quick, but I'm gonna go ahead, just as what I do as a habit. I got a diamond home, and I'm gonna just roll my burr. Go ahead and roll it right quick on this cutter. Y'all see here. Y'all can kind of see on this. You can kind of see the shine for the flats on the top and the bottom. So I do occasionally take these out and run them on the diamond wheel, but I'll just kind of sharpen this right here a little bit. That way it's ready for the next step. And I'll hit those pretty regular every time I come out with them, swap them out. Yeah, I got adjusted anyway. I'm pretty close. Those 2 cutters run real close on my screen, but it's off just a little bit. Some of this is moving. Coming from the house to here, it's changed a little bit too, but so that's so now I'm going to be cutting with the black cutter. But it kind of, I don't know if y'all see how it's kind of jumping around there. It's full of shavings. They ain't got really nowhere for the chips to go, so it just kind of starts. Easy way to tell. Do you get a little bit of room? The more you room, the more you can get in there. But I'm just slowly working my way through it, trying to establish my. And this is the fun part of hauling for y'all. Y'all ain't getting to do nothing and I'm sitting here doing everything. We just slowly just keep working away up, want to thin out. I get enough space in here to where this tool can't reach this corner, then I'll have to swap tools to my other bar to finish out that. And I need to get a little bit more open right here to do that.
You're pressing down pretty hard with your left hand.
Yeah. I mean, not really as much down with my left hand. I'm putting a lot of pressure in on it, cutting. I think, I'm pretty much on center cutting with it. So you're just cutting with a little burr on these is all you're really ever cutting with. So
Ron, you said you got that monitor on Amazon?
that's correct.
You put one in.
You take a field shot with that picture of that camera.
But you're not
All right,
going.
guys, let's settle down back here. Between here, let's go.
Maybe looking like any.
Can you hear me now? Must have bumped it somehow. Anyway, so I keep a lot of different pieces of the jam truck. Which I've got one that's metal that's made that'll work off a number 2 taper for big ones, but you got to have at least an inch opening to get in there. Yep.
That's what happens when you don't do it right.
So what I do is I keep a couple of these, just they're a piece of scraps, fit in my truck. I'll shape one if I need. But this one here seems to go in. So we're just going to use it today. And it's one thing I do to start these things in between centers is because I still have my mark on the bottom. That's pretty close to center. So that'll fit on there just like that. And I'm going to bring up my tailstock. And I'm going to go back in that hole right there. So I'm jammed. All my pressure is right here in the bottom. There's no pressure on this top. And it's not perfect. It may be just a little out, but it'll run pretty true. You can kind of move it. You know, a lot of times I'll leave it to where it's tight fitting here in this mouth to give it stability this way. This smaller one, I don't think we're going to need that. So see, it's running fairly true. Enough that sandpaper will buff it out. So we're going to come in here with a bowl gouge, and I'm going to take my foot off. I'm going to do light cuts. We're going to go ahead and switch to a fresh gouge, just so we got good sharp gouge. No, I've been playing with it a little bit, but I haven't. I still use my good old grinder. I mean, they just so all I'm going to do here is just come in. Touch high on my wrist. And I'm going to work these out. We're all just a friction, so we're kind of doing light cuts, not putting a lot of pressure on it. You feel it move or it starts to stop, tighten it up, check it a little bit. What I'm kind of right now, I'm still visualizing where I want to be at right here and that angle. So I'm going to kind of follow that, just work that down some to get us close to it. One thing you kind of got to, now I'm getting down here close. I want to visualize how small I want my bottom foot to be and where I want to get it to. We want to go just a little bit more here. So about where I want my foot at. We're going to take a little bit off here. Just go ahead and thin this down a little bit. So I got my foot pretty much where I want it. I'm saying that out. Now we're going to go ahead and sand the bottom here. Unplug Jack's air compressor again. All right. Now typically, power sanding is what we're going to be doing. I know Bill put in the newsletter, I think it was last month, my little sanding pads. And that's what I'm using. We done these couple club builds several years ago after I come up with these, but the reason I come up with doing these is because I work through the grits and not have to change the Velcro, and the Velcro paper seemed to last a little longer. So we're just going to power sand, start here with 100. I got a little bit of a ridge right here. I'm not even going to turn the lathe on to start with. You want to run that thing? See if we can keep some of the dust down.
Yeah, and then we won't have to store it below. Let's see. This,
We're going to slow the lathe down. I had a little bit of a ridge there. That's what I was trying to get rid of to start with. We're just going to run it slow. Hmm. A little bit of tear out right there. Let me take care of that. Now, I don't know, all y'all. I tend to sand one direction with the lathe. And then I'll spin it the other direction. I'm just working through the grits, 120, 180. Now I'm gonna go to my little detail gouge. Take your foot on down a little bit more, or what's left of the tin in there. Get going in the right direction. Normally I could take it now, and if it's still got that little bit of a nub, I might would take it over to my little power tool carver and trim it off a little bit, but. And then I would still do this right here, even. Wrong side, got a smaller drawbar. Probably be all right. I mean, no more than I'm gonna use. Oh, that's a knocker there, that's. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, knockout ball. Yeah, the knockout ball. That down there is 3/8 inch.
Get it in the hole, that's. All right. So we're just gonna throw 100 grit back in there. I got a little bit of a nub off. And that's how I take the foot off of it. And then the next step would be what we've done at the very beginning of the demo, would be putting the oil finish on one. Which, where is that end up at? Let me take this off the rack. Where's your remote?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir. Got the point.
All right. Can you hear me now? I don't know what it is hitting something in there. So anyway, so like I say, now go, if you got a piece been sitting around or whatever, you can just come back and go to waxing it. And it just makes them finish like that. But now one thing I will put caution on or say, that piece that went around earlier that had been black leather dye, your colors. I have pretty much a cheap Lowe's that does that. Little buffer that I picked up. Oh, this actually goes in a drill truck. I'm sorry. But anyway, because you see what it looks like, that black leather dye will get on there. So it transfers over into that. So I don't recommend using your good buffers with that if you're going to do that leather dye. Any questions on that?
Wax on that black leather?
Actually, I used the I don't know if they even still make that or not anymore. Some of my stuff I'm finding out they don't make no more. It's had for a while, but it's a kind of it's a black lemon wax is what it is, but it's a ebony and that's what I end up putting on it.
How about him to interested in me as Alabama just named you on it. All right. Alabama just named Russell starting quarterback. Now you give me.
All right, any questions on any of it? That's all I got. Yeah. And mineral spirits. Yeah, I think with semi-gloss, that's what I had there in the shop, but I mean, usually I use gloss. A lot of people, when you start the gloss, they add an additive to bring it down to satin and stuff like that. So if you're doing multiple coats in your satins and your semi-glosses and stuff, that's building into that. So if you're really wanting to build a lot of coats up on something, it's best to build up with just a gloss, and then if you want that little dull finish, do your final coat in your semi-gloss or your satin. Because that additive over time, it makes the whole finish look milky instead of just that outer edge.
It needs to be the regular polyurethane, not that wipe on polyurethane.
No, it just regular brush on polyurethane, oil-based polyurethane, not your polyacrylics or nothing like that. Not your water-based stuff, your oil-based.
The wipe on polyurethane. It doesn't have a third, but how they make it wipe on. Lower it down by adding that.
I got ingredient mineral. Instead of the polyurethane, it's called friction polish.
Right.
Sit there and put it on your rag or put it on your piece and let it turn, and the friction, the heat will.
That shellac,
basically shellac it, make it shine or whatever, and the more coats you put on that,
right.
the more shine you'll get out of it.
Friction polish, shine juice.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like.
Different names on all.
Basically, a lot of your commercial tongue oil that's not your 100% tongue oil is basically what my finish is right there too.
Right.
It's just a version of that they're commercially selling, so. Anything else?
Sean was talking about a while ago, it's a little bowl that went through the thing. Won't tell us what they rollers or this. It was down at Roll's, me and Gary Sarton and Roll was turning Christmas on down at his house. And Roll's got one of these little Delta lathes, it's on the table, and the vacuum system is on, comes up behind it, and it's laying right there. So when you're working, it's like right there. Well, anyway, we was gonna spray something, I don't know what it was, on the ornament, and Gary Sarton was turning it. Y'all might not remember Gary Sarton. But Royal had a towel, a bath bath. And Gary laid that thing out on that laser, didn't want to get nothing on there. And about the time he turned that thing loose, that sucker, I mean, it hit that tube and around it. God, y'all talk about racket. Well, it went through that impeller on that thing. And it sprayed that thing. It sprayed that thing right out of the face. It's just like a foot. But it made one big racket. When that bath towel went through that.
They're just trying to clean the sawdust out of the inside of the vacuum hose.
But oh, Gary, you talk about this, it scared him to death. I'll never get that. No, they'll see rolls kind of like mine, it's just like steel. It's steel, and it was just like putting it in a meat grinder. And it turned that sucker running, fire motor on it.
Sounds like a Harbor Freight. One of the funniest things I ever saw one of our meetings, Daddy's meeting, it was our big up with
Gary Sarton.
yeah, and Gary had this, Gary lost some weight. He had this big old pan or something, I don't know what it was, but every step he took, his pants. Yeah, and he got as far as me to wait, and they right down around his head. All he could do was stand there. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? He said, take this thing or pull my pants up. I took the pain.
Gary Sarton, he's Baptist minister. And, the reason he's not come the last several years, he's been taking care of his wife. And, she has Alzheimer's. So he's been right there with her. But, we've had some fun. That was so.
Good there, just. Yeah.
He's something else. He was a super guy.
Gee, how many people got signed in? Did anybody not sign the red?
Go ahead.
Bob Henry on there? He didn't think he signed in. You are now, bud. 28. Who's number 17? Tommy Hartline, do you take the challenge? Our newest member brought one of his first.
Yeah, I'll do it.
No, don't throw it. He can't catch.
Go, Sean.
Yes. Hey,
Thank you.
good job. Thank you. That was very interesting with the.
Good job.
With the camera system. Very good. While he's demo and I went, found it, ordered me one. My camera went out on my backup camera system. And that. That's a whole lot cheaper to back up.
And next month, I'm.
He's already shaking his head.
I had the button against the paint.
Okay, we got a show and tell coming up.
We'll work that out.
What we need,
He's gonna be, his son's having surgery next meeting, so why don't we just swap?
we'll swap.
November.
What time in November?
It'll be the third Saturday in November. It'll be a week early.
Well, that's fine, if I will. I'm
Cross that bridge.
gonna be back.
Well,
I'm gonna stay out there until he's recovered and can walk.
there you go.
Okay, well, hey,
Wayne was gonna do the thing, but his son's got to have surgery. So I'm gonna take next month's I'll be doing it. I was gonna do it in November. So I'll be doing it and,
The third.
yeah, third week. That'll get it a week before things. No,
I have to see how.
he couldn't stay this year.
And let's think about Wayne.
So Tommy and I going out there to see and talk to him next week.
Let's think about Wayne while he's on his trip with his son.
Is that the battery? I mean, the battery's low or what?
Don't worry about it. It just,
Just does it.
some of them do that. Let's start here. We've got Seansboro here. Tom Wayne. Tom Wayne.
I made a little ring bowl. You want me to hold that?
I got it.
Made a little ring bowl out of maple burl. It's got the knob to sit the ring on.
Okay, everybody, let's hold it down while we have the show and tell. Let's don't do the chairs right yet. Let's wait. We can't, nobody can hear anybody talking with that going on, please.
Then I made a couple of bowls from Emma Cook did a demo at the Tennessee Woodturners. And she used these chameleon flakes. And these are both examples of that. There's 6 different colors that came in that kit. And I thought that was kind of interesting.
What creates the iridescent? What is that?
Chameleon flakes,
Chameleon flake.
that's what they call them.
You go to the walnutlog.com and they have those.
Plate or plate?
Flakes.
Plate.
It's like a metal flake type.
Yeah.
You put size down on there, you color that.
You do like you would be doing gold leaf.
Yeah.
And it's actually chopped up smaller pieces of leaf, different colors, but it's in the chameleon color.
It sticks on it. Well, you can see when you look straight at it, the sides look a different color than the front does. It's kind of interesting stuff. So I usually don't do much embellishment with bowls, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And this is a piece of elm I brought back from where I hunt up in Iowa. And I thought I guess there's 17 different kinds of elm. But I thought that was kind of different looking, kind of leopard skin. That's all I got.
What kind of fish did you put on that?
Tongue oil, and then I hit it with some lacquer spray.
So, yeah, that's pretty good.
Using regular tongue oil, that tongue oil finish.
Well, it's tongue oil.
Finish, okay. That's good.
What's the price on those chameleon flakes?
Oh, boy.
They're not cheap.
Yeah,
There's 6 or 8 jars and they're about $45.
It was $44 per pack, and there's these little tubs in there that are about this big around and about that tall, but there's a lot of that stuff in there.
Oh, so.
Yeah, and then the size that she sells was like $12. So it wasn't a cheap deal by any means, but and then there's a leather cord, 2mm leather cord that's glued on all the way around and jointed together there, so. Yeah, it was different.
What kind of glue did you use?
Fabric glue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what she recommended using, and she talks about using this has got a wax finish on it. And that's what she recommends, because that way you can clean the glue that squeezes out, comes off of there easier than this is a tongue oil finish. And
The fabric glue will, if you get it on the regular bowl, will kind of roll off.
yeah,
You can rub it off, it's got a
it's
little bit of.
kind of like rubber
Yeah,
cement.
it's kind of like rubber cement.
Gotta have finish on first.
Yeah. Then I did some work on the inside a little bit, on the inside of the.
Whoa. You laser that, didn't you?
What, yeah.
Laser pecker. It's got this. the spiraling tools there.
Yeah,
Oh,
the,
the laser protector on the.
Yeah.
yeah, on the inside, yeah.
Sorbit spiraling tool.
Yeah, it looks like a spur.
Yeah, it looks like,
He can help with the texturing on, wish it was.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of that.
That's
We're
right.
just talking.
Oh, okay.
That's all I got right there. But about 6 or 8 months ago, I bought a Mike Mahoney, thread chaser. And I couldn't get up enough nerve to use it. And I watched video after video after video. So it said practice with a scrap piece of wood. So I got to tell this part of it first. If y'all have seen that tool, it's a 2-ended tool.
Mhm, with a ball in the
Yeah.
middle,
And
made by Carter and
Yeah.
Son.
so I put a piece on the lathe and I stuck it up there and it wouldn't do crap. I mean, it was just scraping. And I got to preface this. I had a glass of wine before I went down there. Maybe more than
Maybe you know.
So this thing ain't working like it's supposed to. So I sat there and scratched my head and I said, something's not right. Well, I had I was trying to do the female threads with the male end and I had it upside down. I threw that in the garbage and started over.
Started over.
So this was my first attempt at doing thread chasing. So that's a 16 TPI. Maybe y'all may know what kind of wood this is. Somebody told me it was ironwood. I don't know.
Not just walnut.
No, it's not walnut.
I'm sorry.
No.
So you really can't see that.
It's purdy wood. It's real purdy wood.
Is it sweet gum?
I don't know. So you can't see that. It's got a little bit of texture and then I use some of Nick Agar's little gold leaf stuff.
Gold leaf stuff.
So anyhow,
Well, you do a whole lot more practicing on the thread chasing.
huh?
You do a whole lot more practicing on the thread chasing and you can show us.
Well, now here's one of the tricks.
Because we're all afraid to try it. Who's
Rick.
Yeah, Mark's doing a bunch of it.
Demo.
Oh, okay.
Somebody here has demoed it, I think.
He's talking about putting you down for Mark.
So when the trick is when you tighten it down to make the grain line up. And there's also a trick to that. It didn't at first when I did. So you mount this back on there and you just kind of keep kissing that with a bow gouge a little bit and it takes a little bit of thread off till you get it wherever.
You can get it where that all lines up. And it's got a grain match threaded lid.
So it was kind of imposing to begin with, but it's not really, if you get the tool right side up and use the right end of it, it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Anyhow.
That's great.
And it lasts a while.
Okay.
And don't drink any wine before you do it.
All right. And Staten was about ready to kick himself today because this came out of the back of Staten's truck. It was a little piece of walnut burl. It was a very ugly chunk of wood. And as I was trying to bandsaw it to get it, I said, "Oh, we got some curl in there." So I started cutting to stay with the burl. And that kind of dictated the shape. I cored it to make the little lid part. And then this was maple that I dyed black with speedball ink. But the base, I put a piece of blackwood on. This was clarinet bell. I have some clarinet bells that I bought from time to time. So not real happy with the very top, but my wife informed me that I couldn't change it. So
Base just glued on there, Gary. Base just glued.
yeah, the base, no, it's mortise and tendoned in. And then I did it with epoxy Cause before that, I washed the blackwood down real good with lacquer thinner. And then put the epoxy to it and got it in. It should stay. Then I made me a new cane. And if you haven't ever tried to make a cane, they're fun. This was the one that has thorns and yellow wood. Locust, honey locust. It was a honey locust shell, and I found a nice straight piece. And the handle, reason I did the cane was the handle was one of the cutoffs out of this. And I'm like, what can I do with that goofy looking piece? I said, oh, I'll just do a walking cane right quick. No, this is honey locust. It had, if you get it out in the sun, you'll see the blues and the greens and the graining that goes along with it. Yeah, it looks real similar, but this one was actually honey locust. And we'd had it about 3 years, but we cut the tree and it ate us alive. All right, teddy bear man.
All right. This is my second one. I got conned into doing the first one. Man come to me and he said, heard you do woodwork a little bit. I said a little bit. He said, I need somebody to make my wife a wood teddy bear. I said, well, before I commit to that, let me look on it. So I went back to tell him no. And before I could get my words out, he said, I appreciate you doing this for me. And I hadn't consented yet. And he said, I give my wife a new teddy bear every year for Christmas since we've been married. She's dying. This will be her last teddy bear. Well, I guess I'm doing a teddy bear. And I'm going to tell you, folks, you go out on YouTube and there is not much help out here. And this is a work in progress. And hopefully some of you guys might want to try this. The ears is basically a small dish, if you will, and kind of cut off. Eyeballs is what they are. And the head's about 1/3 and the body's about 2/3. And I'm going to change that up. I'm changing a little bit as I go. And if you'd like to try one, you got any questions, what little bit I can answer, I'd be glad to. But my wife likes it, and that means I get some more tools. The finish nearly killed me. I got the bright idea that I would finish that with Starbond. I'm going to tell you a little secret about that. When you go to Starbond something this big, you better have ventilation, because this teddy bear was a smoking and it nearly took me out. That won't happen again. That's another one of them things I learned.
Well, were you trying to use the Starbond to stiffen up the wood? Because that's pretty spalted.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a little funky wood in it here and there.
This is, I thought it was going to be really pretty, but it's really kind of soft.
It's really pretty.
It is. Yeah.
It's gold wood.
Well, I didn't pick it. I just backed into that. So that don't. Great idea. But anybody, you can go to anybody's club videos, bowls, and also nobody does teddy bear. No.
You haven't seen any teddy bear.
Figured out why though, right?
Yeah.
That's cute. And we can all tell what it is.
Do what?
Everybody can tell it's a teddy bear. That's the biggest part. Some of these ducks and stuff that people turn, you kind of wonder.
Yeah,
And Bob Henry does some rabbits that really look like rabbits. But I know one guy out in Texas that does birds, and they're kind of very abstract.
Is it hollow?
No, it make a good boat anchor.
In other words,
That's your next challenge. Your next mayor, haul it out and call it a teddy bear cookie jar. Uh, y'all got that?
Suppose you show me how that's done and bring it next month.
You'll be busy when.
Or maybe you can come to the house and we'll throw one together. How about that? I do have an air conditioned part of my shop now, so any of y'all that want to come to the house at any time, just holler. 'Cause I've got enough room for one or two of the small lays and a big lay in there, and it's the size of a single car garage inside my big monster building, but it's air conditioned. Howard.
Well, this is just a simple bowl out of ambrosia maple and I put some feet on it, so. Oh, that's oil finish. And this is ambrosia maple and I did a little pyrography around the edge of it and it's finished with oil also. And
A little pyrography around the edge. Okay, that's just a little bit of pyrography around the edge, folks. If you haven't looked at it real close, come take a look at it. It's
and this
gorgeous.
is a piece of bread prepare that I did. This been in that welcome center up there and Judy and Jerry brought it back to me and did a little carving on it. And I put blue dye on this, but it mixed with the orangey bread prepare color and it turned green. So and this is a piece of poplar that I call fingers. And noticed a bunch of white spots on it, and I don't know what's causing that, but anyway. And I dyed it black, and I think I sprayed this with a clear acrylic. Oh, anyway.
Question, how did you hold those fingers while you were sanding? Did you tape them together or
You
something?
sand them, well, you get basic shape, get that sanded, okay? So you basically got the outside, then you carve these out. I use a jigsaw to cut these out, then sand each one, and then as it progressed, I started wrapping this up, to keep them from
Okay.
breaking apart. So anyway, it won't hold much, it'll just sit there.
For some reason, it won't hold water.
Nope, won't hold anything, hardly.
All right, Sean is oh, here we go. You come tell about him. You can tell all about him.
I think this piece of wood he got here one day from you guys. And I was telling Miss Jean, he's been working, he's new to all this. And so I came home from work and I guess I stuck my foot in my mouth. I said, oh, wow, that actually looks really nice.
Oh, wow. For a first prize, that looks really well.
First try, so I guess I was, not been very supportive on the other ones, but anyway, anyway, he's loving this and he's loving working with you guys. So some of y'all have been really good to bring him in extra and spend time with him, but he's proud of this piece. And Mr. Bob Henry, I think, helped him with that as well.
He did the challenge. Where do y'all?
Yes,
Yes.
Where do y'all live?
we live in Arley.
Where?
Winston County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Harvest.
No,
Harley. Harley.
Yeah, we're about 35, 40 minutes from here, going towards Smith Lake.
Y'all don't live there, they do.
Okay.
We don't-
Entertainment
we-
district.
no.
Go out 278,
Yes, sir.
then turn there, Lee Smith,
Yes, sir.
Charleston, Smith Lake.
Well, we're glad to have you, and he is doing good.
He's loving it.
It's always fun to cherish your first year's worth of stuff, and then 3 years you go back and look at it and say, ooh, well, but we love seeing what he's doing at this point in time. He's just getting started in this, so
I think it started in January.
Everybody give him a help anytime you can. But don't tell him what he's doing wrong, just tell him we'll help you if you ever need it. Okay. Dennis.
Yeah. Nothing real fancy about the shapes or anything, but I found that I was just playing with non-traditional woods, I call it. Had a chance to take down a crepe myrtle tree at the church that was dead. And looked interesting because nothing on a crepe myrtle is ever round. I mean, and you can see this is what happens to the pieces that are really out of round. They tend to crack. So I wound up taking a piece that was almost round that hadn't cracked yet, just to turn a Christmas tree and play with it, leave the base on it like that. Well,
So that's all crepe myrtle.
this is all crepe myrtle. Anybody familiar with an Oregon grape? That's a decorative bush. It's got kind of powder blue cluster berries in the fall. It's a holly type, leaf thing on it. This is a half dead branch off of one of those. Now, I've never seen it get much bigger than maybe an inch and a half tops as it gets older. But I love the fluorescent yellow color of it, so, okay, I'll get to a point, I'll make a couple more Christmas trees, drill out a hole in the top, and I can cut these off and put on it. The pen kind of surprised me. I've made one pen before this month, years ago. But I started tinkering around with them again, and I got hold of this piece of Japanese maple. Again, a little limb about that big, about 12 useful inches out of it. And I was just amazed with the grain that came out of that. I did not expect it, just looking at the cutoff, I did not expect it to really look like anything. But again, I was testing the waters to make one for somebody at church and wound up making 3 out of the wood I had. So I liked it.
Good job.
Neat wood.
Gene?
So most of you know that I teach beginning wood turning classes down Woodcraft. And these were just 2 little bowls that I had turned to be able to show the students, this is part of the class. This is what you'll end up with. Well, hopefully this is what you'll end up with. Now,
Question, what wood is the brown wood?
this one's Purple Heart. This one's Leopard Wood.
Leopard wood, okay.
These little characters, I saw a YouTube video that Tim Yoder put on, and I thought making these would be simple for beginning students, maybe not beginning students, but like your first project after you do the bowls. These were mostly fun to do. Teachers would teach them how to do straight cuts, a bit of a cove, and these Easy Wood makes bead cutters, and these are bead cutters. Now, if you'll notice, this little guy has 2 little flat collars, and this one has 4. The wood chipped out. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm kind of, what do I, so I just removed the bead and made a little flat cutter.
Design opportunity.
Exactly. Oh, this is the first one that I started off with. It's pretty fat. It's kind of awkward to use. I'm trying to get down to see if I can use like a pen blank size so that it's more comfortable to hold. The inserts are big pen inserts. The hardest part about that is getting your hole drilled that long. Now, I disagree with how Tim Yoder did it, because he drills an 1/8 inch hole a couple inches down. Then uses an 1/8 inch drill bit the rest of the way down, the 6 inch long one. But it's still, the drill bit tends to wander just a little bit. So then you have to come in about 3/4 of an inch with a 5/32 drill bit, so that the pen it'll pressure fit in there. So I'm wondering if a 5/32 drill bit all the way down, drill out once and be done with it. Would not
Give it a
be
little
the best.
extra room. That would probably work.
Because the only place that it's fit is right here.
My question is, did you drill it before you turned it, or did you turn it and then drill it?
It was roundish. And then drilled it, but then you've got.
Okay.
Then you put it, it
Yep.
starts between the centers, then you put it in the drill, in the chuck to drill it. Then you take it out of the drill, put it back between centers, so you've still got the registration points.
Good job.
So
Those are cute. All right, that did it for show and tell. Everybody remember, bring your stuff next month, whatever you got, and we'll do sir.
Look on YouTube. He's using those big.
Except for our raffle. So we'll see y'all next time. Hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Thanks, and join us again next time. Remember, this is on YouTube, or will be shortly. Thanks a lot. See you then.
Thank you.